So we bought the Interceptor to put a sidecar on it, but it turned out it was more complicated than we thought, so we ended up buying this, and that wouldn't have been an issue, but now I can't sit on it properly. So
yeah, because it's too tall.
Yep. So Twisted Moto recommended that we put it on lowering shocks,
and it's made Ray a lot more confident and a lot safer riding. I think it's been a good thing. But you'll see in the video we've done before and after shots of her getting the bike out of the shed, stopping on our driveway with a bit of a slope. She couldn't lift it up. So you'll see the difference between the two.
Yep. So when I was backing off the ramp, I was on tiptoes, and once I came off that ramp, my feet didn't reach the ground at all.
You see the bike put away on you. Down.
Yep.
And having the panniers so wide doesn't help either.
No, so hopefully that'll be fixed soon. So John helped me to pull it down, but that was nerve-wracking because I couldn't reach the ground properly. It ended up tipping over to the right, but I didn't have the footing to catch myself properly, so I decided to go back up.
Get a little bit of run up there.
Yeah, it was a little bit unsettling because I couldn't reach the ground properly.
You can see it here on tippy toes.
Yeah, so I should have leaned to the left and then at least got one foot, but I was just worried about the whole thing falling. Just felt really unnerving.
Here's John doing the same thing. And even he has trouble. And John's about 5'10", 5'11".
He's flat-footed usually, but the ramp just, it makes him, not reach the ground as well.
Yeah, but in the next couple of weeks we're going to concrete that ramp so it's much easier to get the bikes up and down and safer.
Yeah, it won't have that sudden drop. He had the long arms to push off the wall.
Yeah, there's actually quite a slope there which doesn't show on camera. And the grass is really short. And we can back it up, but we all need a bit of a toe backwards to get the bike pointing in the right direction. It's not so bad with the new shocks.
I'm going to go the other side, which I never used to be able to.
Yep, that's good. This is the new shocks.
Try and get it down this time on my own. So I'm almost flat-footed, backing off.
So you're much able to control the bike a bit better.
Before I couldn't reach at all.
That's much better, isn't it?
It's doing about what John could do.
You're on tippy toes, so...
It's a painful driveway anyway. more just getting the leverage.
Do you want me to?
I tried to push off
Straighten
from the
your
wall like
handlebars
John
as you
did,
come
but
down.
my arms are too little.
Yeah, straight back and you should be fine.
Just getting the leverage. So I think if we had the ramp, then we would have been able to just smoothly come off, because the bike comes down and then it kind of stops trying to get that front wheel off. Now this is pretty much what
If
we
we had
a
smooth
ramp like we were meant to, it would have come down. But I still would have needed a pull back because it goes uphill.
You'll put your back out otherwise.
And that's not so much about the footing, it's more just the bike's heavy and it's uphill. And it's lumpy. If it was smooth like bitumen, it wouldn't be too bad either.
So I'll come around the other side and follow you up.
Yeah, you want to pull me a bit more just so I can get around without running over the... Yep. Pull. Thank you. Alright. So now I'm flat-footed, even without the bike sinking. Now I'm pretty much flat-footed because the ground's moist and the bike is sunk a bit.
But that's about what that drop is about what we expect out of the new shocks, isn't it?
I hope a bit more, but yeah. I mean, I'm flat-footed both sides.
Yeah. What shocks are those open?
They're the original shocks. Because I haven't ridden the bike very much, I was still getting used to the friction zone, the balancing, also the peg position. I wasn't used to that.
Yeah, the peg position is still a little bit of an issue.
It's painful and get you to back up and do it again.
They're going to put a peg relocation kit to it. I believe it's the Hitchcock's one. The Interceptors are a really nice bike.
It's very easy to ride. It's just the slow riding with the height issue and where the peg is. A lot of people get used to where the pegs are, and I probably would too, but I might as well just change them.
Yeah, and the bike you came off was 250 Virago, so that's a lot lower to the ground.
Mm. I was trying to stop on the slant to see how I'd go, but I couldn't go down that far.
And that's quite a slope that the GoPro doesn't really show it.
Mm. Up on my very tiptoes there. I was a bit nervous of putting the stand down because it feels quite tall and top heavy. I know I can do it on the Virago easy. I haven't tried it on the Ninja, but that feels really disconcerting. Yeah.
So this is the bike lowered. You'll notice raised. Flat-footed, the ground's quite a bit harder because it's been a week since it rained.
I hadn't really ridden it between this go and the shocks not lowered. So again, I'm still getting used to the friction zone, and the edge of that garden isn't where it appears to be. So I didn't want to fall into it.
Yeah, you're much more confident getting the bike out now. You'll notice from here she just gets in a ready position and takes off, which is a vast improvement on how it was when the stock shocks.
We bought the panniers off of eBay, not realising how wide it was. So we're going to get Twisted Moto to refabricate the frames, get them to sit in closer. Over a bit, and I couldn't have the foothold to stop it. And remember last time I couldn't get it back up because I didn't have the height to get it back up. You had to help me. So I don't have that problem now. So that's a huge difference.
Yeah, the bike was way too tall for you.
Yeah.
Just got to get those pegs relocated. I reckon back.
Yeah, the pegs are still a pain. People get used to them, but if I can do something about it, I will.
Yep.
Because leaving Twisted Moto, I actually put my feet on them when I was trying to stop.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, quick, put your feet down before you fall. And then the dog barked at me and I packed myself anyway. But yeah, that's heaps better. Kind of feels like my bike now because it's my size.
Yep.
So yeah. This is before the shocks were lowered.
Yeah. And I actually had to give Ray a hand to pull the bike over.
It felt heavy and it felt like it was leaning quite a bit, so I couldn't get the leverage to get it up off the side stand. And I wasn't even on the slope so much as the time before either.
Yeah, we tried to show you know, the difference between the stock shocks, which are taller obviously, and the shorter ones, sort of in everyday situations, pulling up to stop and things like that.
Here I had to put both feet down because I just felt it leaned over too much if I just put my left foot down. And I'm on my tiptoes on both sides.
That probably would have been something you'd have gotten used to, but you're much more confident.
It was more if I came across gravel or a sloped road.
So,
And this is...
see how much easier it is to get the bike up? Just being a couple of inches lower to the ground.
Yeah, I didn't need any help getting it up. Didn't feel so top heavy. It feels more like my height. It's just more comfortable.
Even for me being 6 foot, 180 centimetres, I find it nicer to ride too. The TEC shocks are, I think, better shocks than the stock ones. You've certainly got more adjustment on them.
So here I had a more confident stop. I mean, it's a new bike as well, so, and I'm an inexperienced rider, so I want it to be as stable as possible.
And safe.
Yeah. It's a very easy bike to ride, very enjoyable bike to ride.
Yeah, I like riding it a lot. The suspension is so cushy. compared to my old Ninja 250.
So that's the lowering kit. I hope it's helped you decide whether it's something that would benefit you or not, just by our experience.